This is Rod Morgan, Performance Rod, and today we're very lucky to have with us a really interesting lady, Niki Kerr. So Niki, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me here today.
Absolute pleasure, Niki. So, as at Business Radio, as I'm sure our listeners are all well aware of now, we're interested in people's businesses, obviously. We're particularly interested in supporting business owners and their teams as they move forward. But we're also very interested in people's sort of personal story, how they actually became involved in what they're actually doing in business. And so, Niki, could you give us a little bit of background, please, about yourself and, how you came to be doing what you're doing now?
Okay, well, my background basically is in training and development. And for the last 12 years, I've worked in and around children and young people's services. Some of that has been on a direct one-to-one support level, where I actually spent a time where I was a drugs worker. Very interesting to learn about human behaviour firsthand and all the difficulties that people encounter and what leads them to drugs and actually how you can help them to move away from it. But one of the main things I've done over the past 12 years is train other people to work with individuals who they may well be in children's services and they're at a high risk, or it could be to work with the families of young people who, again, could be at a high-risk situation. Now, within these aspects of training that I've delivered, one of the most interesting areas for me has been communication. And I very quickly found out that, certainly through talking to people on an individual basis, that a lot of things go wrong in people's lives mainly because of miscommunication. And miscommunication can lead to divorces, as we know, but also it's one of the predominant things that happens with young people as they're brought up and they're told they should do this and they could do that, but really they should do this, and they lose a sense of who they are. And 4 years ago, I decided that this area was so interesting to me that I went and became a coach.
Okay.
I'm actually now a fully qualified life coach, life and development coach, and I'm a business coach. And I'm also something called a licensed DISC practitioner and trainer, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a moment. But with young people, we've all grown up and our mums and dads or whoever influences our personalities has told us, let's say, you should do this. It might even be, you shouldn't be doing that, or you shouldn't eat this. We're all familiar with that. It might even be the government that says this is what's best for us. And throughout all this, we forget who our authentic being is. And so what I like to do today is help people to become their authentic best.
That's really interesting, and a whole range of really key points there. Just to clarify then, so initially when you were working with people who were perhaps at risk, you were working with them personally, but also working with those people who provided those services for them. So you were working with, if you like, the people who worked with people at high risk.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, I was training the professionals.
Perfect. That's a beautiful way of putting it. Thank you. And then, of course, you began to discover how critically important communication is,
Yes.
and what devastating effects miscommunication can have on people and their families. Mm-hmm. And this then led you to move more towards what a coaching basis for your work now.
Yes, and what I discovered is even within work, the workplace, miscommunication destroys teams. And what I do these days is I go into corporations and companies just to train them in understanding how their workforce communicate with each other.